I think I was 13 when I built my first set of speakers. CDs were sort of fairly new at this stage. Vinyl was the thing. When I realised there was a machine which I could buy and you can cut your own vinyls, it became my obsession and my focus. That's just the information about the playlist.
Nowadays, you've got a studio in every bedroom.
Yeah. Well, you can have an entire studio on your laptop now, can't you? Vinyl masters. I'll just put it as untitled. I'll leave it nice and anonymous. I run a business cutting dubplates, mainly unreleased new music. 10-inch, and we can cut it nice and hot on a 10, even at 45. When you're cutting a dubplate, you know, you are physically scratching the groove that's going to be played into a piece of plastic. A dubplate's a one-off. There's a romance about music and about cutting records, and in Jamaica and like the sound system culture, dubplates were really big.
King Tubby's created a thing they call dubwise, taking out the vocals of the tune, echoing in it, creating effects. It might be the drum, and then the echo. Say that the board has a 16 track. A 16 track could have 16 individual different instruments. A good engineer knows his board inside out. He can interact with the mix live. That is what we call a proper special, because no one can do the same mix twice. That's the dub plate.
In the early noughties, I used to go to a club in London called Fabric. I used to go there every Saturday. You'd hear tracks in there and they wouldn't come out for 6, 8 months. And then you'd be just waiting and waiting, you'd be like, what's this record?
Dub plates for me was to actually road test that track out there. The tune got made, say on a Wednesday night. By the weekend, you were down at Music House cutting it. People kind of saw it as just being an underground thing. It wasn't. You had top boy DJs at the time, you know, this groove line over here, or this over there, and they'd be like, oh shit, he's next to me, standing there, you know. It's kind of like being involved in an exclusive musical club. Producers that you liked, you might meet them there and they'd be like, I've got a new track coming out, you want to hear it? And then you cut it. You might be one of 10, or maybe the one person who's got it. You know, you was that person who was in charge in promoting that tune and, I don't know, giving it life.
Welcome to this month's edition of the Peck and Cuts Dubplate Show. Playing off the master discs again, but all brand new music, pretty much. The greatest thing about this job is my record collection now. It's amazing, right? I have stuff which nobody else has. I've got a Henry Wu track, which I cut for him. He's got it, and I've got it, and that's it. It's such a great thing having some incredible music and knowing that I'm very lucky to have it.
I play in clubs and I play at raves and squat parties, but I also, you know, play in massive concert halls.
She approached me first via email to do a piece, and it was for her radio show on NTS. And then she ordered again and again, and we sort of got talking, and she scores orchestral music, records it, cuts it to dubplate, and then scratches with it.
So last year I composed an orchestral composition. I asked Johnny to cut me the recording onto dubplate so that I can then manipulate it further into a completely different composition to the one that I intended. Crackles as well, they're great on the dubplates, you have to use them. I kind of sample it, so I sample the crackles and then kind of then try and make rhythmical loops if it works, and if it doesn't, I'll do something else. I couldn't possibly perform with a laptop. With analog instruments, you really get a direct interaction between your performance and the sound that's being created. Turntables and records have gained so much popularity again. It's just proven that it's just a timeless technology.
I first started collecting records at the age of about 15, 16. The music I liked was only available on vinyl. So I was like, right, I need to get some turntables, that sounds fun. And just started mixing. That thing's so annoying, isn't it? A friend of mine, Stuart, he showed me this lathe. And the very second I saw, and I was like, oh my God, you can get a machine that can cut one-off records? So I was just excited about, I'm going to be able to get my music on vinyl. I just wanted to get it home and start putting my music onto it.
I was introduced to Johnny through a mutual friend called Andy Blake, runs World Unknown.
Yeah, it's all good, basically.
Andy went, you gotta meet my mate Johnny, he cuts wicked dub plates. And I was like, oh, what? Gotta meet this guy. What's nice about a dub plate is when you hold it in your hands after it's been cut, you remember the whole process of creating the tune and dancing in your bedroom, and it's much more visceral than having a little USB and being like, all my stuff's in here. You know, holding a dub plate, it's like, whoa, it's got a real feeling to it. When you first get it cut, like, you just want to live inside the case, and it smells so good.
So this is a dub plate I got cut with Johnny. There's a remix of a track that I did in the Rhythm Section studios with Marley.
It only exists in the laptop and in that sleeve over there. If you want to hear that tune, then you have to come to my party.
It's not like I went straight from nothing into cutting dub plates. There was a whole ton of self-taught stuff in the background. You have the Technics turntable, which is the motor that spins the disc. You have bulbs for heating the disc because you want to soften the plastic a bit when you cut into it. And then you have a motor that moves the cutter head across. When I'm cutting something, I'm always pacing up and down. It's like, oh God, I don't want to sit down, I've got to be on the move. I'm not sure about ADHD helping with this. In fact, if I was to show you my box of paperwork.
Rollo Fonsa and Don Drummond. Track's entitled Heavenless. Dubplate has to be unreleased music. You could even go deeper and say, well, if it wasn't cut in Jamaica and if it wasn't cut by this engineer and so forth, then it's not a dub.
Yeah, hear this, dreadlocks?
In the sound clash, two sounds are in combat. One is trying to get the better of the other.
Time up!
The dub plates is basically to give you a one-upmanship on the other sound.
Rush a cope on this one and done. Sin. All crew, done good.
This is Eminem, Top Secret, from out of St. Catherine, Greater Portmore. And then we got the Jesus classic. We played this tune in a cup competition in Brixton. Although we won the competition, we never received the cup for it. A fight broke out and we never saw the trophy. I'm not cutting new dubs, I'm cutting old dubs. The acetate plate is the highest quality you can get. The polyvinyl chloride, which Johnny cuts over in Peckham, it's a little bit under. I'm glad that there's one extra man out there to can cut. He's providing a service for a community.
This is Pete on the corner, and we're joined in the studio by Macadam. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'll let you drop straight into it. The idea of the label came out of travelling in different parts of Africa. There were musicians that I felt had energy and was amazing, and nobody was really supporting new music.
My way, oh Galloway,
There's a lot of people digging for old records, and they become this, almost this kind of post-colonial thing of trade-offs and the value, and none of that money is going into the artists, because it's from a different time. A lot of my new music, it might not see the light of day for like 8-9 months. And in that time, I want to be playing it, I want to be testing it to audiences. And so dubplates give me that opportunity. Because of the look and the feel of the label, we're able to manufacture between 15 and we've just done one for 50, Dengue 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 dubplate, which just sold out overnight. Dubplates are really important to me because we can put them out there and see, well, what kind of reaction have we got? It's not quite the finished thing, it's not a full release, it's a litmus test. It's nice to have a physical thing rather than just being a digital label. I don't really believe in that. People that buy records might not necessarily always be online listening to stuff. What we want is presence in record stores because people love this collectible feel, but they also know that the music it's exclusive.
We'd been going for maybe a year and a half, and Johnny turned up and got a couple cuts made and sold them at the shop, and that did really well. And we've just been using them since. I started here just selling records. I was kind of getting a bit tired of the major labels, getting a new interest in pressing vinyl. Just pushed the lead times back from what traditionally would be like 3-4 weeks to 3 months, if you're lucky. If you're a little independent dance label, you have to get it out quick, and you couldn't do that. The original concept of Record Store Day of celebrating independent record stores got lost a little bit. We thought, well, let's celebrate Record Store Day the way we want it to be seen. The whole idea behind us cutting dubs at the run out was a way of offering something exclusive and celebrating the local music scene. Reached out to a lot of local labels, so that if they wanted to kind of give us like a remix or something like this and just get 10 cut specifically for the day. Johnny's been a central part of everything that we do there, and that concept couldn't really exist without his services.
I get so much work sent to me through Rywax. They've just always been really good at supporting me, They're always telling people, oh, if you want a dub cut, we know this guy. It's just a really functional grassroots community. So today I've cut probably 70 here, and they are for the run out. It's as many as you can physically do within the day. But there's been a nice sort of variance of like different sounds. One more, all done. Both sides done. Holy shit! Should have bought 2 boxes. We have finished cutting and we're going to get an Uber over and drop off the dubs. Because it's Record Store Day tomorrow, there's a big event. We've cut 120 dub plates for it. It's been 4 days of non-stop graft. Here we are. Topical, thank you. Each one has its name on it, what they are on the outside. And so they're all divided up into the different releases, so all you have to do is take them out and sell them. Boom! Boom! That was long. I like being in this room, I like this studio. If I could have a bed in here, I probably wouldn't ever go home. People will always use records to play music in clubs. And people will always like having their music on vinyl. I keep using the blanks and buying some more and then using them, and it's something I want to do for the rest of my life.
Out to Perry and all the Denim Audio gang. Out to Johnny at Peckham Cuts. All the Dubplate crew out there.